Good morning. Good morning, everyone. You know, I hope you're all finding a way to enjoy this beautiful weather and celebrate this Memorial Day weekend. I happen to know someone who's having a celebration today. Bill Isaiah, I think you just came on. Bill's celebrating his birthday today. So we can give him a shout out. Well, I look forward to this time together where we can connect for a time of reflection. And I know we're still apart physically, but we're certainly proving that we're not alone. So we welcome you this morning to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northern Nevada, where it is our mission to grow together in love, faith, justice, and joy. My name is Dave Bianchi, and I serve as your worship associate today. And we've asked everyone to stay home and view or hear us on their personal devices. So know that we're still welcoming all to be part of us, regardless of racial identity, age, economic circumstances, immigration status, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Now, if you're someone who's viewing this for the first time and it's your first exposure to us, feel free to contact our office or go to our website for more information. It's also where you can download a newcomer form. Now you can sign up for our newsletter. It keeps you informed of all the activities, even during this time, that are happening with the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northern Nevada. So thank you. Thank you for being with us. And now I'd like to go to the president of our board, Nancy Oakley, who has a special announcement. Nancy?
Thank you, Dave, and welcome and good morning, everyone. I just wanted to briefly mention the fact that we have an important meeting next week, which is our annual meeting, first time on Zoom, obviously, but it's a very important meeting and it will be right after Sunday service. You know, our fourth principle is the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and to society at large. And our annual meeting is really the time that we practice our democratic process that guides our governance for the coming year. And at our meeting next week, we will vote on the budget and the slate of officers and members of the committees of the fellowship. So I'm asking you, if at all possible, to be sure and participate in this meeting. We do need a quorum to carry on our business at the meeting. And just a few details, you may have known these already, but right after service today is an informational meeting where we would like to talk to everyone about the budget. And this is your opportunity to ask questions and get the details that you need. And we'd like to do it today rather than spend too much time next week. And we have sent out documents for you all to read, including the minutes, the reports of the Legacy Committee, the Committee on Shared Ministry, the minutes, and the budget. And we ask you to please read those before next week if you could. And another thing is we have a Zoom training scheduled to familiarize everyone with how this meeting is going to work. And that's going to be May 30th at 3 p.m. And it's kind of important if you can spend a little time because it's a little more complicated. We found out to have a meeting on Zoom. We have processes for voting. We have processes for making comments. We have to be sure we count everyone properly. And so there are a few little things that we would really like to go over with you if possible at our training so that we can keep our meeting next week down to a manageable period of time. And those links have been sent out from the office. If you need any, if you didn't get them or you need them, just contact the office and you can get them again. And finally, we were told that Zoom is requiring everyone to upgrade to a newer version, and the date for that actually is next Saturday, which is kind of interesting in our schedule. So if you have not yet, just go into your Zoom and you'll be led through the process of upgrading to the latest version. So anyway, I really look forward to seeing you all hopefully today for our budget discussion led by Al Fahrenberg from Finance, and also next week at our very important annual meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Much appreciated. And you know, this time where I usually introduce Reverend Karen for a few words, but not this morning because she's taking some much needed time off for rest and relaxation. So we all give her all the best. Instead, we'll now hear from our worship leader today, Xiomara Rodriguez. Xiomara?
Good morning, all. Just a reminder, we're going to be either, you can view us either a speaker view or gallery view, which we have right now. You will remain muted throughout the service. A chat box, which is at the bottom of your screen, you could use it to feel free to put comments or your joys and concern. And at the end of the service, you will be invited to join us for coffee hour. So please stay so you could join us for coffee hour. Thank you.
And to rejoice and come in, and to rejoice and come in. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in. Open your ears to this song, open your ears to this song. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in. And to rejoice and come in. And to rejoice and come in. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in.
Spirit of life, be present with us this hour. Join us today as we gather in a wider search for truth and purpose. In this great quest, may we greet one another with open hearts and mind. May we inspire each other to consider new questions and seek deeper meaning. May we cultivate wisdom and compassion. Let all who enter this sanctuary see a welcome face, hear a kind word, and find comfort in this community. And may all that is done and said here today be in the service of love and justice. So how about if we all take our little chalice and we light it? As we say our chalice light, come into the circle. Come into the circle of love and justice. Come into the community of mercy, holiness, and health. Come, and yet you shall know peace and joy.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, come. This isn't a caravan of despair. Oh, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, come, come, whoever you are. This isn't a caravan of despair, and it doesn't matter if you've broken your vows 1,000 times before, and yet again, come again, come, come again, come.
Memorial Day is one of the most celebrated days in the history of the United States of America. Those who died in the name of a nation deserves a special respect and honor. Memorial Day is a commemoration of the heroes who sacrificed their lives for their country. We are keeping special gratitude in our hearts to all the soldiers who have died during all the wars the U.S. has been involved in. I read a poem not too long ago that touched my heart, and I want to share it with you today. Freedom in America isn't free. We often pay a price to keep our liberties. Remember those we loved who fought for us and died, and those we never knew, for whom others mourn and cry. At home, our war for freedom, it's sadly overdue. We have let corruption stage a sad and grievous coup. No longer can we brush off dishonesty and greed. Lust for wealth and power cannot, would not concede. Complacency is weakness patriots can't afford. We have to act on wrongs that cannot be ignored. We must give up sometimes, spend on other pleasures. To restore Americans' freedom, to keep Americans' treasure, money spent in trifles must now go to our causes. Get rid of the offender, the constitutional outlaw. Freedom in America isn't really free. It's up to the American patriots. It's up to you and me. We have to consider the following facts about the number of people that has given their lives for our freedom. If you total all the lives lost in wars from the Civil War to the Iraq War, our country has lost approximately 1,224,000 young men and women. If you add the amount of people who died in Vietnam, the Gulf War, the war in Afghanistan, which is still an ongoing war, and the Iraq War, the total number of dead is 65,150 people. So far, the US has lost approximately 97,000 people to the coronavirus, 31,000 more than those three wars combined. As the poem I just read said, freedom in America isn't really free. It's up to American patriots. It's up to you and me.
Thank you, Bill Quinby. You know, this is the time of our service when we have the opportunity to share our bounty with each other. And since we're not physically together to pass the basket, we can do so virtually by texting, as you see there on the screen, 73256. Putting UUFNN in the message box and you hit send, then follow the instructions to provide your offering. You can also mail a check to the office at 780 Del Monte Lane, Reno, 89511. But the slickest and cleanest way to donate is to sign up for automatic giving. So contact the office and Carol will send you an automatic draft authorization form. You know, it's in these times when we see the real strength of our fellowship. So many of our members have pulled together in some amazing ways, and I continue to witness all the volunteers who are doing so much to keep us in touch with one another. I'm grateful for the staff who are working so hard to keep the wheels turning as we move through this time together. And I'm proud of Reverend Karen and the board for keeping us safe and making decisions about our future based on the latest medical information available. We really do care about one another, and so much goes on behind the scenes. I want to give a shout out today to the Caring Committee who send us all cards to commemorate an event in our lives and help everyone stay in touch when there's a concern. We're still doing good in the community and the whole world. So thank you to everyone who has stepped forward to make sure our fellowship is financially secure in this very uncertain time. We're aware that there are those who can't make their commitment because of the current situation. And so I urge those that can to please contribute beyond their pledge. I'm feeling positive that by all of us stepping up, we'll be stronger than ever. You know, our annual meeting, as Nancy mentioned, is coming up May 31st on Zoom, and we're going to have a budget informational discussion today following the service. So it really makes the annual meeting go so much more smoothly if you have that financial information ahead of time. So I urge you to listen in and ask questions today. So thank you. Thank you for taking care of our beloved community. Now, let the offering begin. I would like you to join me, and Lois is sitting here too, as we bless these offerings to the work of this fellowship, which is helping more people grow in love, faith, justice, and joy. We dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings.
Sometime back, for Valentine's Day, I was watching a TV movie with Betty White and Jennifer Love Hewitt. The title was The Lost Valentine. I was very touching Valentine's movie, but for me it was more than that. It was a Memorial Day movie. The premises of the story was about a woman that had lost her husband during World War II in the Philippines, and according to the Navy records, he was lost in action. Betty White's character last saw her husband on Valentine's Day as he was boarding a train, and she gave him a Valentine's Day card. At the time of that, she was expecting their child. We see Betty White's character at the train station where she goes every Valentine's Day to honor the memory of her lost husband. We also get an idea of their lives together and their love. Enter Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, an upcoming reporter that finds doing a story about a woman that goes to the train station every Valentine's Day as something with no real story value. But she finds herself forced by the station to do this story. Both women develop a friendship, and with her hard work, Jennifer Love Hewitt's character finds what really happened to Betty White's husband. The truth was that he went down in enemy lines. He saved the life of his crew. They were saved by the Filipino underground. When it was time to go and be able to be smuggled back to the US lines, forces, he decided to send his wounded crew members ahead. He stayed behind. During the time he was healed and he recovered, and he went and worked with the underground Filipino community to be able to fight the Japanese. And he finally was killed trying to save the life of a small Filipino child. When his personal belongings were returned to Betty's character, the Valentine card that she gave him so many years ago was there. By the end of the movie, his remains were recovered and he was returned home with full military honors to the same train station where Betty's character had waited for him so many years ago. For me, this movie was more than just a love story. It was a true story of courage and dedication. Betty's white husband gave up his life to save the life of not only his crew members, but a Filipino boy. Memorial Day is a day we stop and remember the many men and women who fought and died with bravery, those who shed their blood and lost their lives so our country could have its liberties. As I sit here today, I realize that many people don't see the difference between such patriotic holidays as Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and Armed Forces Day. In fact, on Veterans Day and Armed Forces Day, we're supposed to honor those people who either were serving in the US military or are serving now. As for Memorial Day, it is dedicated to those who have died in the service. But please don't forget that heroes never die. They live in our memories forever. As I said before, our freedom is not free. On this Memorial Day, it is most appropriate time to remember that the freedom we have today is a result of human dedication and sacrifice, heroic gestures of American soldiers, and in many cases, immigrants who joined the armed forces with the dream and the promise to become citizens. As a veteran and a wife of a veteran, I understand how uneasy and dangerous a task it is to be a true soldier. We share the sentiments and sorrow and the sadness, as well as the gratitude to honor all our foreign heroes of America. Let us pay our respect to the soldiers who gave themselves for this country by recognizing their bravery, and remember that patriotism consists not in waving a flag, but in striving that our country shall be righteous as well as strong.
Be here, be now, be focused, be free. I'm here, I'm now, I'm focused, I'm free.
We are here dedicated to the proposition that beneath all our difference, behind all our diversities, there is unity that makes us one and binds us forever together, in spite of the time and death and the space between the stars. We pause in silent witness to that unity. You're invited to offer your prayers in the chat box while the music plays. And before we do that, I would like to take a moment to ask you to hold Pat Perky and Whistle, whose mother passed on Thursday, Laverne Perky. Pat would like to thank everyone who has sent her condolences. When you open your eyes, you see the here and now. You look at the world in front of you as it is in this moment.
Be here, be now, be focused, be free. 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 I'm here, I'm now, I'm focused, I'm free. I'm here, I'm now, I'm focused, I'm free.
Thank you for joining us. Remember, watch our emails for all great information. If you need help with Zoom or any support, please contact us. Or if you know someone who does, please contact us. If you would like to receive our emails, fill out the online card, share the link with folks who are feeling isolated and may need connection. Don't forget our annual meeting on the 30th, and please join us at the budget meeting after the coffee hour today.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place, when we tell a story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our hearts stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for his friends. John 15:13. We remember you, we honor you, we love you, and we humbly thank you for your service. A simple thank you is not enough for all that you have endured. We pray that you live through all the loving memories shared by your family and loved ones. We pray that strife, battles, and wounds of war be calmed for eternity, and may you find rest at last, and know that those left behind cherish your spirit, honor your commitment, and send their loves, and will never forget your sacrifice.